We are back. It's a brand new episode. This is Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. I'm your host, J.O. Oh, it's good to be back. We got a good one for you today, folks. Tell you what, we've got a special guest of sorts. We will check in with one of the most talked about things in the world coming into studio here at the end of this show. Yeah, we're going to hear from the portal itself. The portal, as you've seen, it's had places around the world, New York, most recently in Philadelphia. We're going to talk to the portal. We're gonna get to some inside information on what's going on with the portal and kind of what's its purpose. What's its purpose? Yeah, it was quite the get to have the portal here in the Laugh With Me studio. Also, we're gonna talk about the Dwayne Wade statue. Have you seen this in Miami? You know what? And he's a legend of the Miami Heat. Legend. He changed that franchise's trajectory forever. He is the most prominent player who has ever been a original Heat. I was going to say who's ever donned the jersey, but when the greatest player who's ever been won a couple titles with you, and I'm talking about LeBron. I mean, it's tough to say Wade is here we are talking about Wade and his statue, and I'm now already within seconds talking about how he's not as good as LeBron. But that's not even the point of this whole thing. We're going to talk about the statue, and we're going to talk about the deeper meaning of it, because there's something deep in there that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. It's important. It's important to talk about. We're going to get into that. But first, it's that time of year where we are heading to a spot that's been designated for us, something that we've all registered for, something that's our right. And that is if you're in America. I know we have a lot of listeners from around the world, and some of you also do this, but some of you have no idea. You wish you could do this. And you might be thinking, well, no, I don't. Well, yes, you do. You really do. And it's voting. Okay, it's that time of year to vote. There's a lot at stake this year. We're not going to get into the politics of it, I promise you. But there is something super important. I did go and vote yesterday. In fact, I waited 2 hours in line in order to get my vote in. Thank you, Johnny. It should be applauded. A lesser man would have looked at that line and said, you know what, I'll get him tomorrow. And then maybe you wouldn't have. Maybe you would have then just gone about your life and not gone back to vote, or you would have waited until voting day, until election day, and you then would have looked at that line again and been like, you know what, my vote really doesn't count. Well, everybody's vote counts. That's what's beautiful about this thing. Everybody's vote counts. Everybody should get your vote in, and I could care less which way you vote. That's the beauty of it. It's your vote. Go vote the way your heart desires. Just do the research and know which way you're going and why. That's important. That is important. That way you feel good about it in the end, right? Well, I spent 2 hours outside the election commission to vote early. And why did you vote early, Jeremy? Well, that's easy. Because my daughter has a choir concert the night of election day. There you go. I just didn't want to get caught up. And certainly I'm not going to miss the concert, right? So then it was like, well, if there's something that gets pushed aside on that day, it was going to be voting. And so I made sure to get it in ahead of time. That's important. It was important to me to get there early. 2 hours, though. Are you kidding me? It's like once I got into the building, because we're waiting outside, right? They're not built to have all these long-ass lines. Once you get in the building, the process is super simple, and it goes really fast. Just they only have room for like 80 at a time, so they're cranking 8 in line, cranking 8 in line, cranking 8 in line. I mean, it's quite the deal, but the line wraps around the building. But here's the thing: you can't wear, you can't wear merch of the candidate that you're voting for, and you can't have messages on your clothes, right? That's illegal. It's just part of the deal. That's fine. There was discussion in line, though. There was people discuss. People were respectable. They were respectful of everybody, which is why they were kind of keep it close to their chest. They were just saying, "Hey, yeah, the right to." They would said a lot of, well, everybody needs to get out here and vote if you're voting for the right candidate. I heard a lot of that around me in line. 2 hours in line. Could have been a tailgating event, honestly. I know you can't have flags and whatnot, like you would at a football game when you're tailgating, but it would have been much more enjoyable to have some chairs, sit back, have a drink, eat a hot dog. Because I did go over lunch. So then I had to eat lunch late. Then that was a thing. Then you end up getting Taco Bell. Wasn't planning on getting Taco Bell. It was just a matter of convenience at that point. Had to get my groceries the next day. I was going to go buy groceries. I got it the next day because I just run out of time, and then you're tired. Yeah, I really think if we're going to have these long lines, and it does appear that everywhere you go, there's these long lines, it could be more of a tailgating event. We can make it a little more enjoyable. It was like the assortment of people. When you go to like a concert, you see a lot of like people, right? Obviously not everybody's the same, but you see the same vibes. It was wild, the differences waiting in line to vote. Listen to this. I saw men. I saw women. I saw short and tall people. I mean, it was wild. I saw people wearing glasses. I saw people, some of them need to wear glasses, but they weren't wearing them on their nose. They had them up on their head. We were outside. Maybe they were farsighted. I don't know. It was cloudy out, but there were some people with sunglasses on. Yeah, it was pretty wild. You could definitely tell that there was some people in line. And I'm not judging, okay? But you could definitely tell there was some people in line that when they go to the grocery store, they don't return their grocery cards. I'm just saying that this was a very, very large variety of people within this crowd. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But some of them definitely did not return their grocery carts. Yeah. There was a bumblebee just kind of whipping through, kind of sniffing us out. And I'm assuming that's what they do, right? They have scent. Do bees have scent? Yeah. It was just big ass bumblebee, and it was just a buzzing around everybody. I know it got up real close to me, but I could hear it. I didn't want to react. Do I want a big ass bumblebee on me? No. You kidding me? I don't want to get stung. I also didn't want to be a little bitch, so I just stood there. I could hear it buzzing right next to my left ear, which is unique. I bet that thing has been buzzing there for a while. I can't hear out of my left ear real well anymore. And it has nothing to do with the headphones I'm wearing right now. Okay, me screaming, that's got nothing to do with it. You can't say, "Oh yeah, Jeremy, you're an idiot. You're wearing these headphones and you're screaming into the microphone, and that's why you're losing your hearing." No. I'm on these steroids, for the Crohn's, and whenever I'm on a steroid, it messes up my hearing in my left ear. It's a thing. It's like I have swimmer's ear. And my doctor is like, "Oh well, we'll get you a different steroid this time, and then you just have to let us know if it's same. This will help. This will help." It didn't help shit. Yeah, wait in line, dude. 2 hours. It was wild. Got my vote in, though. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Yeah, Miami Heat giving Dwayne Wade his flowers with a statue that will be sitting outside their arena. Don't they have Crypto Arena? Isn't that the Heat, Johnny? The Crypto Arena, right? Yeah. That's where the statue will be forever. Or until 20 years from now when he's canceled. They put the statue away. Kind of how it is anymore. Anybody who's getting the permanent the permanent memorial or the permanent remembrance of you to celebrate you. It's there until it's not. That's all it is anymore. But all the hubbub about the statue was because it didn't look like him. The face, it didn't quite look like him. It was celebrating the moment. I think it was a playoff game. I don't know. He hit a buzzer beater, and it was at home, and he ran immediately to one of the tables, jumped up on it, and, this is my house, right? And he's got his arms up. And it was awesome. It was a classic, iconic moment. It just doesn't look like his face. Thing is, Dwayne Wade, and this is the part that a lot of people aren't talking about, Dwayne Wade was involved in the creative of the statue the whole process. Okay? He was there seeing the face, seeing the statue the whole time. He could have been like, yeah, it doesn't look like me. He could have. It's one of those things where it's like, it's the artist rendering, right? It's kind of what they picture. It's art. So who's to say that that's not right? I mean, it's something to celebrate you. It's not going to be perfect. It didn't quite look like him, and people are having a lot of fun with that. A lot of memes, putting that head on a lot of famous, iconic Dwayne Wade moments, which is kind of funny. But I think the deeper issue at hand here is here's a guy, right, who's been involved in the process the whole time in the creation of the statue of himself. And it's one of those things where, we all sometimes look in the mirror or kind of reflect on ourselves, and we don't see ourselves the way everybody else does. I think there's a deeper meaning there. This is what Dwayne Wade sees of himself. When he looks in the mirror, that's who he sees. He sees this angry-looking guy that doesn't necessarily reflect him. There's a deeper meaning there, Johnny. And I'm not trying to get all, in your head, but think about it. It's one of those things, where you're just like, man, what a D-bag I am. And everybody's like, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. I know people have said that about you, Johnny, kind of a D-bag. And then it's like, no, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. I've always stood up for you. And then you just see yourself this way, right? I don't know. And then legacy. The statue represents legacy. His legacy, of course, is being iconic for the city of Miami and what he's done for the Heat. And all the things that it's done from there. He had just a Hall of Fame career. Got me thinking about my legacy. I don't know, Johnny. Mine's kind of flip-flopped a few times. And it kind of makes you wonder, is it this show? Is Laugh With Me someday going to be my legacy? Is it going to be the very thing that people will be synonymous with me? And they think of Jeremy Odem. They think Laugh With Me, the podcast. Do they think the thong song joke? Because you know what? I am firmly taking credit for the thong song slowly starting to become popular again, especially in creative media. I've seen it being mentioned or the song used in a few different angles here recently, and I just want to say I was first on that boat. Maybe my legacy is that I got Crohn's disease. My legacy is that at times I make my family sit through burning trash farts. Like that's my legacy. That's what people will think of me when they remember Jeremy Odom. I don't know. It's possible. Could go as far back as high school, where I was the third speaker at Central. That was a big deal in the moment. That was a big deal. Something unexpected. How often do you go and compete in something and you didn't really have much success at it? Very small wins, even moments, and then randomly you're the third speaker. I'll take it, dude. I still talk about it. Maybe it's in my professional life of working at the grocery stores and being a pepper spray attack survivor. That's something that not everybody can say they've done. I certainly have. And I live to tell my tale. And I got those freaking groceries back. That's the important part. Thank you, Johnny. That's the thing. Not everybody in that situation would have gotten their goods back. They would have just been burned up in the eyeballs. Not me. I got the groceries back, and I got burned up. Survived to tell my tale. That's what I'm saying, Johnny. Well, we're at that part of the show where we've got an exclusive here. Nobody's ever been able to just sit down and have a conversation with an adamant object like this. It's the portal that you have seen all over the world. It is just a glimpse into the other side of the world. Now, here's the interesting part of it, and this is something that I felt this is why we needed to get the portal here in studio, okay, here in Omaha. There's this flasher. She goes to wherever the portal's at in America, and she's flashing in the other side of the world. And if you follow us on our socials, you have seen the clip of the famed portal flasher when she was in New York and flashing to the other side of the world. And it's funny. It's also obscene to some folks. But here at Laugh With Me, Johnny and I were talking, and we're like, you know what? If we were ever going to have an opportunity to have a flasher live on the show, it was going to be because we had the portal. So I would just like to welcome right now the portal. I just want to say, Johnny, you're overusing the applause today, but we've had a lot to celebrate today. Portal, welcome to Laugh With Me.
Oh, thank you. It's so good to be here from one piece of art to the next.
Now, Portal, one of the things that was interesting, I guess, in this whole thing, you could kind of look through, and I've been talking to people about the portal, and just like, look at this thing. It's, a glimpse into the other side of the world, almost like you could just reach in and touch the other side of the world. And when you've got a situation where like the flasher is popping up, some folks I'm sure wish they could just reach over and touch the other side of the world. Like the people that I've talked to that aren't quite understanding what you're about, they're saying you're really no different than a telephone, like when people are FaceTiming. So what exactly is your purpose?
Well, the purpose of the portal is to, be a glimpse into the side of the world, to show you live streaming video screens, no audio, of course, between New York City and Dublin, so that the people of New York City and Dublin can interact with each other at all times. I am just a piece of art, a portal sculpture concept that, of course, was brought together by the Lithuanian artists, the Benediktas and Gaidas.
Okay, understood. And when you get these situations, like when the flasher comes up, and I know, hey, we're breaking up the flasher a lot, but boobs. So, like, when the situation comes up with the flasher, what's your kind of stance on it? Is there any censorship on the other side? Like, are they not seeing the boobs necessarily?
Yes, of course, they're seeing the boobs it's really not what we're about. It's about the art of people from two sides of the world being able to see each other and communicate with each other without using anything verbal. As people abuse me, that's when the art has to be shut down. That's why we were been relocated to Philadelphia, but that's not what's important here, is the boobs. And we have seen many, and we've also seen different inappropriate acts, and on both sides of the line.
Okay, that's great. And, I'm not trying to make this all about boobs. I just want to make that clear. It's just, that's like, I'll be honest. You've been out and about, and you've been hitting all these different cities, and I've literally only seen the clip with the with the flasher, but I'm sure you're doing other things, right?
No, it is very simple. We just be in New York City and seen on the other side in Dublin and vice versa until On September 2nd, 2024, we were shut down due to the inappropriateness of people on both sides of the art. This is about the art. This is about people being able to celebrate in two different cities and help each other and greet each other. This is not about people abusing the portal and being inappropriate, which unfortunately has not only been the instance with the portal in New York City and Dublin, but also here on the Laugh With Me. Good day, sir.
Okay. Well, thanks. Yeah, that was the worldwide portal. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was gonna be a thing, I guess.
You are, in fact, an animal himself.
Johnny, did anyone tell you we weren't? Oh. Okay. Johnny knew. All right. No boob talk. Okay. That was the whole point of having you. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Another episode of Laugh With Me, a podcast with J.O.
You are no different than the other folks that have been abusing the portal.
Johnny, you got to bring that stuff up, dude.